Now let's talk about prospects we're not so high on. And Riv, I want to hear yours first because, well, one, this is how the circle kind of goes anyway. But
you just be so excited to hear me speak.
no, I want to hear yours because sometimes what you say is crazy. And I'll be honest, I think you are the draft expert guru. You watch a lot of college basketball. Jack watches a lot of college basketball too. You both watch more college basketball than me. This month I've just been scouting.
But you've been on your shit this month.
I just been scouting this entire month, but I know that you watch a lot of college basketball, so I want to. Who are you not high on?
And high on in terms of what though? Like I don't think they're gonna be a star.
They're not worth the hype or players. Yeah, like players that are getting hyped up that you're not all the way sold on. Maybe mid first round picks that could be lower. You just don't think are worth the hype.
Oh, it's funny. This is gonna sound crazy, but I think the two overseas guys are the two guys that come to mind. I think Sengun and Josh Giddey. I am not too high on, and it's with Josh Giddey. It's really more of his body. 6'8", small forward, but he's very small, very lengthy. He's very skinny. His offensive game is it's not where it needs to be coming into the NBA. His playmaking, I think, is phenomenal. But I think in the league right now, I think we're all expecting guys because we've seen Luka come into the league and just put the league on storm. We've seen Dirk. We've seen overseas guys come on. We're just expecting every overseas guys to come in and just produce. But I think, like, with Giddey, it's going to be really tough with his body and his size to really produce. And Sengun, it's just like I watched him play. I don't see it, bro. I'm not too high. Like, I seen him play, and I get the Cantor comparisons. I get.
Oh, no, hold up. I don't think he's Cantor.
You said you told me Cantor.
No, I said at worst he'll be Cantor in terms of production.
Well, like I said, I watched a couple games. I don't see the hype. You know what I'm saying? I'm not all the way in love with the hype, honestly. Those two guys are really a wait and see thing for me, to be honest. It's really just the overseas guys. But other than that, I'm pretty much high on Cade. I'm not as high on Jalen Green as everybody else. I don't think people think Jalen Green is a superstar or like a franchise-changing player. I really don't see that because I really see a lot of Bradley Beal in his game, and I see a lot of Bradley, Zach, Devin Booker, and I don't think those guys are like franchise-changing players, and I don't think Jalen Green is going to be a franchise-changing player. I think he's too one-dimensional. I think that's just going to be his game moving forward. But those are the three guys for me.
I have two guys, and one it hurts me to say because I really loved watching him play in college and high school. But the first guy I'm going with is Sharif Cooper.
You're done.
His profile of the NBA concerns me. He was great at Auburn, and I think he's a great college basketball player, but his skill set, as of right now, doesn't transfer over. He's a smaller guard. He doesn't shoot the ball great. He only shot 20%, 22% from three, 23% from three. Turned the ball over a bunch. He isn't going to be able to defend a lot of guys because he's short, and his effort was questioned a lot at Auburn. And his offensive stats, you could say, were inflated because he controlled so much of that offense. So as much as I loved him at Auburn, I just don't know how he translates to the league because, one, he's not going to be getting that same usage rate any team he goes to realistically. And two, size-wise and shooting-wise, I don't know where he fits in the NBA blueprint right now. Teams like guys who can guard a bunch of different positions, shoot the basketball well, and I don't know how well he does either of those things. He can improve on the shooting, and if he improves and gets himself to be a good to great three-point shooter, I think he could be successful in a bench scoring role. But as of right now, I don't think he pans out, at least to be what people think he's going to be. And the other that I have is Jalen Johnson, who was at Duke. He just, for a lot of the reasons that Ben Simmons coming out of LSU concerned me, his work ethic, his effort level. He was at 3 different high schools, went to IMG Academy, never played a game there, went to Duke when things started going bad. He left there. So, is he going to go to the NBA? He'll probably be a fairly high draft pick. He's going to go to a not great situation. The first time things go wrong, is he going to want to bail on his team? Like, that's a concern for me, his work ethic. And even his tools, I think offensively he's limited. He's not a great shooter of the basketball. He turns the ball over a bunch. So I think there's a lot of red flags on him for me.
And it's funny with Jalen Johnson that you said that his tools. He really reminds me of DeMar DeRozan coming out of college. This raw, physical,
Yep.
just he's really the same athletic freak, physical guy. You didn't see much of him in college. You just see a guy who on the fast break is dangerous, but in the half court isn't really that good, kind of doesn't know where his footing is. And with DeMar DeRozan, his work ethic showed that he became who he is. And I think you bringing that up is very interesting because with Jalen Johnson, the question really is, how much work is he going to put in to be that type of guy? Because he really is coming out of college kind of the same type of raw talent DeMar DeRozan was.
Yeah, if he was a dog, it wouldn't scare me as much, but you're being put – after his high school changes, he went to Duke, and he was the guy at Duke. And the fact that he ran from that with one of the best coaches in the country in that program, like, you can't get in a much better situation. And the fact that he ran from that really turned me off.
And Duke is a wing school, too.
Jalen Johnson was a great pick because I think athletically he's very gifted,
100%.
but he doesn't have any offensive game outside of a fast break. Not DeMar DeRozan. He reminds me more of Al-Farouq Aminu coming out of college.
He can definitely make it with like his athleticism and everything like that, but somebody has got to get in his ear early in the NBA process and get his mindset turned around. Like almost like Dwayne Haskins is looking for in the NFL right now. Before it gets to that level, somebody's got to get to him and change his thinking.
If Jalen Johnson goes to Sacramento, he's done.
Damn.
I'm just being honest.
Marvin Bagley's
Bagley's already done.
De'Aaron Fox wasn't done, though.
But De'Aaron Fox
situation.
was good, though.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, Jalen Johnson, I think he goes to Sacramento, he's done.
But damn.
It's over.
I
just do think so. He's done.
It's a bad situation. It's not going to be a good team.
I mean, I don't want to just say he's completely done, but, it's a big chance he'll probably be done, though.
He needs to end up in like a...
Where, though?
Like
other than Golden State?
Maybe if he goes to like the Spurs. Like just a program that's going to
in terms of
mold
like
him.
Their team, though, would that even fit their profile?
Probably not.
It wouldn't.
I'm just considering for him like somewhere where he could go. Like he needs to end up somewhere.
Even with San Antonio, though, a lot of those guys they work in themselves. Their work ethic is more in themselves. Because Pop doesn't really even bond with rookies that much,
Golden State would be cool. They do a good job bringing in guys.
Yeah, it'd be pretty good.
Wherever Kenny Atkinson is.
Yeah.
This segment is funny because it's gonna give us a lot of room to be wrong if these players pan out. But I'll say this: I think Sharif Cooper, you're spot on. I'm not high on Sharif at all. I saw somebody on Twitter, they made a big board, and they had Sharif as the 7th best prospect in this draft, and I think that's fucking crazy.
I've never said
that. I think it's crazy as hell to think Sharif is that high. I saw Sharif as high as 11 on this other big board. That's crazy to me. Sharif Cooper, he's a Trae Young light. Because I think Sharif has elite passing ability.
Yes.
Like, no doubt about it. He's an elite passer. But Trae Young was that and a great shooter and great at floaters and great at driving to the basket. That's not Sharif. I watched Sharif versus Kentucky. There wasn't a possession that went by that his pass didn't get deflected or he didn't get blocked at the rim by Isaiah Jackson.
That game was very dreadful.
Like, that game showed me Sharif Cooper has a lot to work on, and you hit it right on the nail. Like, Sharif's usage at Auburn was extremely high, which is why he averaged 20 and 8. In the NBA, his usage won't be that high, and he got a lot of free throws. And in college, I think they officiate the game even worse than in the NBA in terms of these ticky-tack fouls. Sharif will not get that respect on fouls in the NBA.
Can I say something?
As a rookie, he won't get that.
You guys, like with the Sharif Cooper thing, I'll push back on it a little bit because you guys are saying he had a high usage rate, and I get that part. But you got to understand it from this point. Sharif missed half of the season.
Okay.
He missed half of the season. He didn't get to play because obviously allegations, blah, blah, blah. He had to walk into an already bad situation. People left. People decommitted from the program because of the situation. He walks into the situation. He was given the tool. He was told, you have to get us to the tournament, or at least try to get us to the tournament, and we don't have a good team. So the shoulder, it's kind of placed on your shoulder. So being that he was given, he didn't expect that usage rate coming in. He was expected to have a good, solid team. And being that he did have to do that, and he had to kind of put the team on his shoulders, I think talking about his efficiency and talking about how...
That's fine.
Yeah,
that's
like
fine.
You got to put that into consideration. He didn't play half the season.
I do a little bit, but I'm a firm believer in you can control what you can control.
And you only watched his bad games. You never talk about his good games.
I watched him versus Ole Miss. That was a good game.
Right, he had some really good games.
I watched him against Tennessee.
Thank you.
I watched him against good teams. I watched a lot of games.
You only
I watched him against Baylor because he has a lot of bad ones. Yeah, most of his games were inefficient.
I hope I'm wrong. I like him a lot, and I do hope he succeeds. I just
hope
don't
you're wrong
see him.
too, honestly.
I don't see him succeeding at least to the level that people talk like he will. I don't think he'll ever be a star point guard. I don't even know if he'll be he might be a starting point guard. Like, that's his ceiling to me.
Can he be better than Jeff Teague?
All-star Jeff Teague?
Jeff Teague in general.
A better career, maybe. This is what I'll say, though, because I didn't finish my point.
That's a fair comparison.
I didn't finish my point right here.
Go ahead, bro.
You can control what you can control. You can control how well you shoot the three-point ball.
I mean, if you can't shoot, you can't shoot.
And Sharif couldn't shoot
Yeah,
last year or so. And that's for a 6'1" guard who that's generous. He's more like 5'11". It's going to be difficult if you can't shoot. Defenses are going to go under screens on you if you can't shoot. He took that lean back out of his shot. You know, I commend him for that. It was pretty good. But I'm just not high on Sharif Cooper because of his size, because of his short arms, because I don't know how good he'll be on defense, and he won't get that same usage.
Right.
To me, he's a Trae Young light. I can see him being a backup in Atlanta and them having a lot of success because the offense won't be different from when Trae Young and Sharif Cooper are on the court. I also see him having a similar trajectory to Brevin Knight or a DJ Augustine, a guy who floats around and, you know, he's okay, but he's not an all-star point guard. I'll say this, though, and we talked about it in our scouting report, is that if Sharif Cooper develops a jump shot, 35% from 3 and up, I do think he has all-star potential. Yeah. But right now, he doesn't have it, and that's why he's a guy I'm not so high on. Other two I'm not high on. I'm not high on Usman Garuba. I think Usman Garuba out of Spain, out of Real Madrid, he's an elite defender and a great rim runner. But the way he plays the game just screams role player. Yo. And that's not a bad thing. He can be a very great role player, but I think with him, I see very little star potential. I see a guy that, okay, he's going to be a great role player. We're going to draft him because we need a guy who can fulfill the role, and he fits that. But in terms of like a star, I don't see Usman Garuba being a star because his skill set and what he does now just doesn't scream star. I see it with Şengün and Giddey because Giddey averaged 11, 7, and 7 in the NBL against professionals, was a great playmaker, and had the ability to score. His shooting wasn't that great, I'll give you that. And Şengün won Turkish League MVP in the second toughest league outside of the NBA in the Euro League overseas, so the third toughest league. So he won Turkish League MVP. When you look at Şengün play, he's a polished player. He has an insanely great motor. He's very athletic. I think at worst, his production is Enes Kanter in the NBA. I do, which is like 14-8 type of guy.
So then you said,
and the other one is Scotty Barnes.
Okay, we're gonna get to that in a minute.
And also, I'm not high on the two Auburn guys, Sharif and JT Thor. I'm not high on them.
You said the Turkish league was what, the third toughest league?
So NBA,
NBL,
Euro League,
NBA, Euro League,
and then Turkish League.
Where's NBL? That's in the Euro League too, right?
Nah, NBL, Euro League is like Barcelona, Real Madrid.
So, what's the drop off from the NBA to the Turkish league? Like, how much of a drop off is it in terms of competition?
It's a big drop off. I'm not gonna say it's not, but I also say this.
No, because because you keep telling me that he won MVP in the third toughest league. Yeah, but what's the
he's
drop
19
off?
Though.
That is fair.
Consider this too. A lot of people laughed at Luka Doncic when he said it was easier to score in the NBA than it was to score overseas.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're seeing in the Olympics this year and in Team USA's exhibitions that wasn't as outlandish as it seemed at the time because those leagues overseas play a much different brand
because of
basketball.
The rules,
yes.
though, not because of the players.
Yeah.
Because of the okay, that's fair to say. That's fair.
But also, you talk about the drop off from the NBA to the NBL or Turkish League or Euro League.
I was just asking.
I get it.
Because you talk about efficiency.
But that's a major those leagues are major upgrades over college.
You know, it's hard to say that.
I don't think it is.
I'm going to tell you why
You want to know why? I'll tell you why it's not. The reason why it's not is because all the players that were great college stars that didn't pan out in the NBA go to those leagues.
And become stars.
Not all of them.
But some of them do.
Some.
Russ Smith is a bona fide demon over there and overseas. And
Russ Smith was a great scorer.
He was a great star in college.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's why you can't. College versus NBA.
The difference is that in those leagues, though, everybody on that roster is college star, basically, pro. Where in college, you're facing one of those on each team, maybe two. And the other guys are just role players.
That depends on conference.
Fair. But I'll say this. Would you rather a guy just two of the exact same stat lines, say 18, 5, and 5 on like 40% from the field, 30% from three? Would you rather take a guy doing that overseas in the Turkish league or a guy doing that in college?
That's an easy answer.
Probably the Turkish league.
I just think playing against professionals does a lot to you. And especially, like, I think for guys like LaMelo and RJ Hampton, it's even more enhanced because you're going overseas to a completely different situation and you're changing your entire lifestyle, which is a huge part of playing in the NBA, changing where you live, changing your entire routine to fit where you're at.